This video is sponsored by Shebop. Shebop is a woman-owned sex toy boutique for everybody, specializing in body-safe products and education. Visit sheboptheshop.com to shop online or take classes.
Our next voicemail comes from a caller calling from right here in Portland. Let's hear the question.
Hi, sex people. My partner and I are interested in finding another person to bring into our bedroom, or potentially maybe even another couple to play with. But we're feeling a little overwhelmed about getting started on the search and wondering if you have any advice about how to actually make it happen. Thanks.
I feel like this ties in very well with our conversation about dating coming in out of the pandemic. Reed, let's start with you.
Well, if they're from Portland, they should just come see me. I'll sleep with them.
Your own private dating service, Reed.
I mean, it's not easy being this easy. My big, well, so first off, congratulations, and for even being in a place in your relationship that you two are considering this. That like threesomes or foursomes, moresomes can be really exciting. And aside from hopefully you're either reading the books. Stella Harris has a great book on threesomes. Like you're nerding out on what you two need as a couple to be able to invite people in. And when you're starting your search, my advice would be kind of like date your species. And you want to find where those watering holes might be for people who are into having group sex and exploring those things. So you don't want the drunkest person at the bar who'll go home with you. What you ideally want is like people who've already been having threesomes and foursomes and moresomes who really love them, because you'll probably have a better experience. There's also the opportunity of like hiring a professional, like somebody, a sex worker, to come and be your third. That's always a possibility too. But like start thinking about where do you find people who would already be open-minded enough and maybe already be good at group sex. So it might be
you nodding along.
Yeah, because Reed always has such great advice. But also I think, using resources like FetLife, and for those who don't know, FetLife is sort of like Facebook for sex people. And to sort of vet that way. I know there's an app too called Quiver, I think, that's all about that, specifically adding people to the bedroom. But for me, it sounds like if this person's feeling overwhelmed, then being able to sort of scope out the situation virtually first or connect with someone virtually seems less overwhelming to me. And then getting to know them a little bit and deciding if you wanted to meet up with them, like Reed said, based on your own species, or how experienced they are, or et cetera, et cetera. That seems like the route that I would go, as opposed to just showing up somewhere and hoping someone's not going to be offended or upset if I ask them. This isn't a situation where I would, ask my friend who I've had a crush on forever, who has no idea that I would ever ask them this question and then risk losing that friendship, for instance. I wouldn't do that. But yeah, finding a new person through virtual resources or apps is what I would go for.
Good advice, taking it slow. Davey, do you have a perspective on adding a new person into the bedroom?
Yeah, that is all great advice. I think building on that, at least in the gay world, like when I go on Grindr, an app, oftentimes you'll see couples advertising that they're looking for a third. And when I had a boyfriend, sometimes that was something that I would advertise. And you usually can get a very good sense, like when my boyfriend and I were kind of shopping around for a guy to have fun with, that if they started asking questions, like we would go into a group chat and say like, okay, like, what is it that you guys, what's your intention in this? What are some of your boundaries? When someone starts to ask those questions, you know that they have navigated that space before and that they're probably a good fit, versus maybe someone that's just more interested in one or the other. And that's when you start to get into the messiness and the drama, which is just, avoided altogether.
excellent red flags to look out for
Yeah.
and green flags to look out for. All right, good luck, caller.